Here we go, arriving in Skagway with the rainbow in the sky. Oh, you can't beat that. It's breathtaking views. That's where we're going up right there, the White Pass Railway later today. We have about an hour to go explore Skagway before taking our train tour, which turns into a motor coach tour, which turns into like a reenactment town thing with a salmon bake and actors and I think a gold panning demonstration and all that. But for this morning, we got a rainbow. Beautiful. And guys that paid for all the like the seaplanes and the helicopters, they're already going out. So today in this vlog from Skagway, we're gonna show you the excursion we're going on. Maybe you decide you want to do it. I think it's the best thing to do in Skagway. It's good for all activity levels, from the young to the old. So come along with us and explore the Best of Skagway tour. Just as a quick note, there are multiple tours, the same tour per day, so make sure you check your tour time. We were walking out and we saw the Best of Skagway tour leaving. It freaked me out. That was the early one. We're on the 10:15. So that's the town tour trolley. It's sort of cute. So we're starting our day by taking a little walk into Skagway. We have about an hour and a half before our excursion. So if you don't have an excursion in Skagway and you just want to see what the town looks like, this video is still for you. But if you really want to get a feel for that White Pass Rail and if it's worth it, because it is an expensive ticket, this is really the show for you, the video for you. We're going to bring you everything from the excursion. And once again, even if you're not on the Carnival, almost all these cruise ships offer a very similar package, if not exactly the same. So if you're not sure how to get to town here in Skagway, don't worry, there's signs pointing you in the direction. There is benches about every 100 meters or so. So if you're not too terribly mobile, there is benches all over town. There's also shuttles to take, but I don't believe there's taxi service up here. I don't think so. As you can see, nice big wide pathways if you're using a power scooter or something of that nature, or a walker. And once again, even if you don't do the excursions, just to take in these breathtaking views is something else. Well, there's the White Pass rail line. We'll be getting on that shortly. That's the early train leaving now. And here we are in the town of Skagway. Right as you walk into Skagway here, I think it's one of the coolest sights here. It's the ice and snow breaking contraption on the front of this train here. So this is what they used to use to clear all the ice and snow from out in front of the railroad tracks. So just in Skagway, there's all sorts of historical markers, all sorts of placards to read about the history of the area and the Gold Rush. All sorts of cool attractions to check out, like the snowbreaker train. There's a signboard back there, and just on the other side of the train is a museum here. If I remember right, it's free to go into. And Skagway is really easy. It's basically just one main street straight back. You can't even get lost. Should take you, if you're just walking, less than an hour to the end of the street. Need more signboards explaining all sorts of how the railway was built, where it was built, times of day it was built, people who did it. Really interesting stuff. So this snow cutter machine was built in 1899 and had its entire own boiler, steam boiler system. This was a steam train just to power this turbine. You can imagine these blades just swirling around, breaking up the snow and ice on the track ahead of it. Just so cool looking. And right over here, this red building is the Klondike Gold Rush National Historic Park. It's the visitor center. If I remember correct, it's free to go in. Oh, but it's closed today. I believe it's Sunday and it's closed. Well, that's no fun. I don't know if it's closed because it's Sunday or for a different reason. Skagway is such, like, they really do work to keep it this little historic, cute town. Like, all the buildings look original. They can't really change anything. You're never gonna see like a giant McDonald's or some shit here. This is really cool. This is the really historic onion saloon, all sorts of history about it. It's a brothel back in the day. A lot of the tours give you all sorts of information about it. In fact, I think there's a tour of just the brothel alone. Our tour, I think later today, will go through. And you can also just walk up and take a tour for $20, and it's a 20-minute tour. All sorts of gold and jewelry shops. Anywhere from little cheap jewelry, you know, just for looks, all the way up to really super high-end gold jewelry. Like these gold nuggets and these specimen gold rings, which is like quartz and gold mixed together, and they make that gemstone out of it. So as you can see, we've only walked maybe, I don't know, a half mile from the cruise ships, not even. Mostly on this side, all jewelry stores, really pretty stuff. That's the main visitor center, which is closed. I'm not sure if it's because it's Sunday or part of the Fiery National Park employees. And the shuttle van is trying to run me over because I'm in the street. Well, it says there's another museum over here. So even if you don't get an excursion in Skagway, there's still plenty of reasons to get off the boat and go explore. There's also excursion companies here on shore that you can book something from. So if you keep your eyes open, in the back of some of the gift shops are little museums. They're fun to walk through. They have really cool artifacts in them, history, all sorts of stuff. This museum's about whaling for the most part up here. That's a cool art piece. I'll tell you what, these little museums are always fun to walk in because you just see the most random stuff. It's a picture of a 1918 shipwreck, and the SOSs are funny. SOS, stranded on Vanderbilt Reef, no damage, waiting for high tide, will float and be on our way. Next message, SOS, ship floundering on reef, come at once, 4 p.m. SOS, for God's sake, hurry up, the water's coming in my room. Oh, poor guy. That's a bad day at work, huh? There's artifacts into the 50s and World War II up here. A lot of native artifacts and native carvings. Just a really cool little museum. And Skagway is just a cool place to go check out. These are all native carvings here. Some of the local artists. So there are some side streets in Skagway with some more businesses to them, but for the most part, Skagway is just this one main road up and down from the port. Well, they added this little cute park since I was here last. It's a First Bloom Alaska Native Plant Garden. This is probably really cool in like 2 weeks. These are all native wildflowers here in Alaska. Yellow rattler. They're not up yet because we're still in mid-May. Native raspberries. This one's called fireweed. Beach pea. Oh, too bad these aren't coming up yet. Black beach irises. Oh, they're native to Alaska. Did not know that about that iris. See them all over the place. Some wild strawberries coming up. That's really cool. Too bad they're not blooming yet, but if you come up in a couple of weeks, they will be. I do have to say, after walking around Skagway for about 45 minutes, it looks like it's known for two things: jewelry shops and bars. Which is good, right? There's a couple little small museums. It'd be nice if the Gold Rush Visitor Center was open, but it's not. But wow, they got jewelry everywhere. So many jewelry shops here. Definitely bring your pocketbook. Lots of pretty jewelry. Lots of bars, and there's the Skagway Brewery, which for listening to one of the presentations, they said if you had time to stop in there and try a spruce tip beer, which sounds really good. This is the Mascot Saloon. It's like an old-timey thing. I don't know what's going on there. Tons of souvenir shops and gift shops. Everything you never knew you didn't need, of course, right? Place is pretty cool looking. AB. What does it say? Camp Skagway N21 $18.99. Love the front of the store. Oh. So this cool building with all the sticks on the front is the visitor information here in Skagway. We're gonna go check it out. And there's a public restroom in here as well. So that's nice. Water bottle fill station, and of course a couple helpful people to help you find your way around Skagway. So here at the Tourist Information Building, they can help you take a tour or figure out what you want to see in town. There is still time to book something, not with your cruise ship, but just by yourself. A lot of the days in Skagway are quite long, so this is a great resource if you didn't book a tour off your cruise ship. So this is a map of all of Skagway, essentially. This is the tourist area. We are over here in Ore Dock, and this is the main street straight on down. I'm not sure what this, oh, that's the bus route, okay. So I'm not sure how far down we are, but it's not that long of a walk. We did not get as far as crossing the Skagway River. You can also walk out to the old cemetery by yourself. Pretty cool out there, if I remember right. There's a bunch of funny gravestone markers and whatnot. So this is the National Park Service Visitor Center, Klondike Gold Rush National Historic Park. So we walked by earlier and we thought it might have been closed for Sunday or permanently, but it just wasn't 9 a.m. yet. So there's a cool little museum in here. They can give you all sorts of information on Skagway or what you want to check out or see. I think they'll even give you like a little walking tour map that you can do of Skagway. There's also a public restroom in here as well. Theater room that shows a couple of presentations. And this is a 3D representation of Skagway. As you can see, this is where we are right up in here, and that's where the White Pass rail line goes right up into Canada. Runs along the lake all the way, keeps on going. I don't remember how far we go. We shall see. And on this side is the Die Road. I think this is what they call Dead Horse Road or something. I don't remember. I'll have to learn again today. So much information to learn about though. And this is probably one of the hardest national. So if you have your little passport stamp book, it's something the National Park Service does. They have all these cool stamps, but I always forget my passbook. I gotta go to every place like 8 times before I remember my passbook to stamp. So bring your passbook if you have one. I'll tell you what, we almost made the mistake. Make sure to take note of where your dock is, because if you keep walking straight on Main Street, you're gonna go to one dock, but if you're on Ore Dock, you gotta make sure you take this turn, and that's where we are. So don't miss your sign for Ore Dock if that's where your boat is. Well, we didn't have too much time to check out town. We have to get back to grab our excursion for the White Pass Railroad train. And everything also includes the Best of Skagway tour, so. And here's the shuttle bus to downtown if you don't feel like walking. It's a $5 ticket for all day. You can take it as many times as you would like. And the bus goes around about every 15 minutes. As for now, we're gonna go maybe check into our tour. I think we're about 10 minutes early still, which if you have any question about your tour, always get there early opposed to late. So something new to me is if you're taking any tour that goes into Canada, you now must carry your passport with you. I don't remember having to carry it before. Maybe you're supposed to, but they didn't care. All right, we're off on our Best of Skagway tour. Our tour is going to stop in Liarsville, which is the little reenactment.
Now, I may be young. I may be young.
Gold Path. So here we go.
But
our
the
driver's
good thing
going to
about
tell us
us
some more
young
cool
kids
things.
These days, it's named Liarsville. You'll learn a little bit more about this during the show. But it is named Liarsville because the reporters, there were news reporters that were riding back home to the lower 48, as we say up here, the rest of the United States. They were writing newspaper articles about, extra, read all about it. There's gold to be found in the north. Come to Skagway and pull out nuggets of gold as big as your hand, which of course none of that was true. As I said before, the gold is actually 500 miles north of here.
We're just gonna do it one more time. So when I say, ow, ow, you all say, ow. You folks are as good good as gold, I tell you. Now, my name is Al Anderson. I'm coming to you today as one of those famous Liarsville players.
All right, we just got off the bus here in Liarsville. This is where all the reporters sort of got ran out of town from Skagway for telling all their crazy stories of all the easy gold that there was just right here in Skagway and selling their stories to newspaper in the lower 48. Oh, press tent here, sort of cute. There's all sorts of actors here. They'll tell you a story or spin you a yarn.
But they've had
Blacksmith shop.
every season.
There's also, of course, the brothel. The madam is out. Beat it. Little signboards around here that you can read about.
Showtime! So, if you want to make your way round down there to the Hippodrome, that's that wonderful wooden structure over there with the sign that says Hippodrome. You all come to get there and we can get this show rolling for you.
Oh, I remember. Last time Chris actually participated in the Liar Show we were here. It's funny, I have the hardest time remembering things until I'm actually back there. So they put on a little performance here in Liarsville, tell you all about the Gold Rush and what went on here in Liarsville and in Skagway in general.
Extra, extra! Read all about it. July 17, 1897. Steamer rolls into Seattle carrying over a ton of solid gold!
So one of the first things we did here at Liarsville was a little play, an explanation of Liarsville. Really a lot of fun. And now I think we're gonna go learn how to gold pan, maybe. I'm not sure. They got a bunch of different activities here. Let's see here. I think we're gonna go learn how to gold pan here. The gentlemen here are gonna teach us how.
Wash. You're gonna dip your pan in the water.
Just had a little quick explanation on how to pan, and now you can go get a pan of pay dirt and pan out your own gold.
Everybody gonna do this?
Yeah, let's learn how to gold pan. So you get a little bag here to collect your gold in. And get your wet, and give it a little shake. You shake, and you just let it pour off forward. And take all the loose with it. And then you can also use like this technique where you sort of push it forward and pull it back. And it'll just sort of take the lightest stuff too. And there we go. 3 little pieces of gold. Oh yeah. 3 little flecks of gold. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. My huge gold haul. 3 little pieces of gold. That's a lot of fun. Knowing how to pan, give it a try. Every pan guaranteed to have gold in it because, well, they make it that way. We're gonna head over here now to the salmon bake. Some other fun things to go check out. There's a little waterfall over here to go take pictures with. That's cool. On the other side of the street in Liarsville is the cookhouse. You can grab a beer if you need or cola, and the food's over here. I think I'm gonna go get one. You want a Diet Coke, Mom?
Yes.
All right, so this is the lunch buffet here at Liarsville. It's included as your excursion. Of course, you got the salmon bake. Looks absolutely delicious, fresh off the grill. You also have chicken if you don't like salmon, potatoes, rice pilaf, baked beans, 2 salads, a blueberry cake. They say is wonderful. Looks absolutely great. So the buffet lunch included salad, coleslaw, some beets, campfire baked beans, rice pilaf, cheesy scalloped potatoes, which were really good, barbecue chicken thighs, cornbread, a blueberry cake, and of course the grilled salmon, which was absolutely excellent, and you can get as much as you want. We just finished up at Liarsville. That part of our tour took about 2 hours. I think our next part of the Best of Skagway tour is the White Pass train, which I think also takes about 3 hours. So that's why I lied. The train ride is a total of about an hour long. It takes a little longer than that to get to the train station, load everybody on, load everybody off, and all that. But the total train length is about an hour. So we're off on the train. We just left the station. They gave you this cool little booklet that explains a bunch about the White Pass Trail. It is a 110-mile long train line between Skagway and Whitehorse. The Scenic one only goes to Fraser, BC, so you are going into British Columbia, so you need your passport now for this. And we're just gonna sit back, enjoy, listen to the narration, and look at the beautiful views. I'm going by the White Pass and Yukon Route train yard here. Pretty cool. I always love the old trains, the old steam trains. On this rail line, I think they use both diesel and steam trains, depending on which one you're lucky enough to get. Probably most of them now are the diesel ones that pull you up. First time we're passing over the river here. It's just so pretty on the train. Really just enjoyable. So several people take this train for other reasons. You can take it up for hiking. You can take it all the way up to White Horse for independent exploring. But for our purposes of being on the cruise ship and just going up to Fraser and then taking the bus back down is perfect. Bridal Veil Falls here in Skagway is absolutely beautiful. It meanders its way down the cliff. I'll tell you what, the pictures just don't do this train ride justice. It's such a big, beautiful scenery, and just trying to record it just doesn't quite work. So if you can see it up there is an old wooden trestle bridge that we're going up to cross here. Crosses over, I forgot what she called it. Glacier something. There it is, the old wooden trestle bridge we're going to go up and cross right now. So they call that the Highline track. That's the track we'll be working our way up to. You can see all the rubble and rock they blew away to make this train, put this train line in here.
This hat is special because it's only sold on board the train and nowhere else, not even our own in Spike, marking the finish line of our railroad.
I don't know if it shows on camera, but right about here is the town of Skagway. You can see the ocean. In a second, we should be able to see all the cruise ships all the way down in Skagway. Oh yeah, you can. That is a cruise ship down there. See it way down there? And there's just these beautiful waterfalls everywhere you look, just hidden in the landscapes. I've taken like 20-mile hikes to see a waterfall that big. And we've seen like 8 of them in the last 3 or 4 miles. That's the original bridge. It was retired in 1960 something, and you can see why. It has a pretty big hole in it. It used to be the old railway bridge. Really cool looking. And now you can go bungee jumping off of it. Okay, that's not true, but it'll be fun. And here's our nice new bridge. Much better. Over the bridge and into the next tunnel. Of course, we're looking down along the valley, all the way down the Skagway River, down to Skagway. So that's the original trail, Trail of 98 down there.
This narrow route was once so crowded that if you stepped out of line, it could take hours or even days to find your place again. Sharply above our train and to the left will be two flags, the American flag and the Canadian flag.
So here it is, the US-Canadian border, White Pass, elevation 2,888 feet, and there is the obelisk separating the two countries, a little monument marker. And we are on to Canada. This was the Northwest Mounted Police. This is where the Canadian police would inspect you when you're entering Canada to make sure you had your 1,000 pounds of supplies on you. 2,000 pounds, 1 ton of supplies before entering Canada from the US. Everybody going up to the Gold Rush had to carry at least 1 ton of supplies with them before entering Canada. That would suck. Hike for 2 or 3 days up that crazy mountain pass just to get turned around before entering Canada. We've arrived here at Fraser Station, mile 27.7 on the White Pass rail line. It goes about another 80 miles, maybe 100 miles up towards White Horse. But this is where our journey ends on the train. And one day I really just do want to come up here to Skagway, not on a cruise, and just explore. Take the train, go up to White Horse and beyond. Just keep exploring up into BC and Yukon territory. I would really love to do it. But just to come up here and take in these breathtaking views, if you haven't been far up north or up high, it's amazing. All right, and now it's about an hour bus ride back down into town, and then I think we're taking a town tour and then a tour of the Red Onion Saloon, which is like the oldest brothel in Skagway. It's really cool. I've done it before. A bunch of people dressed up in like showgirl outfits and all, it's like a reenactment. It's real fun. Stick to the end and see that. Bus driver was nice enough to stop us at the Welcome to Alaska sign. So we're gonna hop off really quick and go snap a picture. Still, the views out here are just breathtaking. So beautiful, so lucky. The sky is cleared up. All of our guides are telling us how lucky we are that the clouds burned off and it's not raining on us. Our bus driver was saying this is his first season up here driving bus, and this is the first time he's seen the mountaintops. So there you go. There's a little placard over here. It says Klondike Highway Gold Rush Centennial 1998, Department of Transportation. All right, they put a little centennial marker here. Over there, it looks like a statue to the First Peoples Nations down on the other end. That was probably one of the coolest welcome to state signs I've seen. Really cool. We'll go down here and see what this little other statue is. So this is, I'm not sure. See a Washington State marker, a bunch of different clubs. This unfortified boundary line between the domain of Canada and the United States should quicken the remnants of the more than a century-old friendship between these countries as a lesson to peace to all. All right, so it's like a peace memorial statue between the US and Canada. I can get down with that, that's cool.
But please be ready just in case they do. In Glacier Valley. You can actually take a helicopter tour. Kind of like flying everywhere towards the bottom of this big black lake. One other reason that they think it's black, that is, it's said that they used to stop and take a bath here.
So we just entered the Red Onion Saloon for our tour. We went in through the side entrance, the tour entrance. You can also just come and take your own tour.
Feel free, none of Elsie doesn't bite. You can step over.
Comes with a glass of champagne or water, real nice.
Whatever they're willing to pay. Cheers!
Cheers! So we just had a wonderful introduction by our tour guide here at the Red Onion Brothel. She was telling us all about the different artifacts, and this red lamp right here is the original brothel red lamp, one of two that was outside the brothel when it was first built, to let the gentlemen inside know what sort of wares you could get inside. So our tour guide was telling us that each worker could choose their own wallpaper for their room as part of their like sign-on bonus here at the Red Onion. In some of the rooms, they found 18 layers of this wallpaper, even though the Red Onion only operated for 2 years as a brothel. And these dolls here would represent the girls, so you'd come in and pick your doll. And if it was a blonde doll, it was a blonde girl. And whatever the doll looks like, that's what the girl would look like. These are some of the original wallpapers that they found while restoring and trying to preserve these historical artifacts. The girls would make $5 for 15 minutes of hard work, 50% to management, 25% to your security, and the girl would walk with the last $1.25. This dress here was hand embroidered with silver inside of it. Laying down now because to stand it up, it would rip itself apart. It weighs over 10 pounds. This is the typical room of a working girl. That is a 3/4 size single bed. Luxury of the day. This room here represents the bedroom of the madam, the person who, with management basically, who ran the house, and you can see how much bigger it was than the working girls' rooms. How much nicer it was. Absolutely amazing.
You exit down this way. You're going to
It's a really interesting tour of the Red Onion Saloon, just to walk through and see the history, see what the original pioneers of this area put up with and did and accomplished. It is pretty amazing. From the ladies that came up here, the men that came up to work the gold fields, to the women that came up here to work the men. And of course, downstairs still at the Red Onion Saloon is now a restaurant and bar. No other services are provided. And if you're not part of a main tour, you can also just come and it's a 20-minute tour, and these are the tour times, and just pay for a tour here at the Red Onion. All right, we just finished up our Best of Skagway tour. It was amazing. We started the day, what did we do? Oh, we started the day by going to Liarsville, which is really cool, the little interpretive area explaining the Gold Rush time here in Skagway, and the little
Did I tell you she's probably
Liarsville players were really amazing, along with the buffet lunch, before taking the White Pass rail line and finishing up with a quick tour of the Red Onion Saloon. It was really, really a great tour of Skagway, appropriate for anyone of any activity level, and I really recommend it if this is your first or maybe your second or third trip to Skagway.